back to normal, one giant leap to putting the pandemic behind us. We can do this. For more information, visit vaccines.gov to find your nearest provider.
And now for the creative outlet segment, we are joined by a dear friend. God, we've known him for almost 10 years now. And it's pretty crazy. Let's welcome back to the show, j.r.mounts.
Hey, man, how you guys doing?
Howdy, sir. Welcome back to the station.
Thanks, man. It's been too long.
It has been way too long, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, we're now, the station is now open. It's COVID-free, so
yes.
So welcome back.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
No,
it looks like you've this time productively.
Exactly,
Yeah.
This time you actually have something to promote, not just like, hey, I'm going to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, and talk over everybody. I've been trying to calm myself, don't talk. It'll get out. It will get out.
It will get out, my friend. Just remember that. That and Ritalin always helps. It's a perfect match.
Yeah.
So what do you got going on? I'm really excited because we've talked about the pickle. We've talked about snow bees. We've talked about the wonderful story you did with the veteran and the alien.
Silver Linings. Yeah.
Which was awesome. So what do you have for us now?
Now I've got my first art book collection of these just drawings that came to me about August of 2019. I was looking for yet another thing to draw, and this image came to me that I thought would be useful. And it just spoke to me, and then another idea came out, another good idea. It's these shadow characters that's one single image with an action in the foreground and shadows in the background. Two different stories are going on at once, and I call it the shadows of ourselves. And I started with one image just for the hell of it. I was at a convention with way too much time on my hands, and I wanted to create something artistic, because you're right, I've done the Stombies, I've done the Fried Pickle Noir, and Silver Linings kind of kicked off that I wanted to draw something that maybe said something, that spoke something and made a connection with people other than just the funny bone. And I wanted that Norman Rockwell moment, that Will Eisner moment. But I draw the way I draw, I paint the way I paint. So I thought, how could I say anything prophetic? But the shadows of ourselves came, and it was just one of those things. I'm very happy that after a year and a half's time, I've been able to collect all the pieces into an art book, and found that they do tell a story of just being human. All of our fouls, our failures, and our mistakes, and the things we should say, the things we want to say, and sometimes they're funny, and sometimes they're a little heartbreaking. But they're all real.
Dude. They are really beautiful.
Thanks,
and this was what I saw 2 years ago. I haven't seen, a lot of the recent stuff too.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff. I'm very, you all know when the pandemic hit, everything shut down. Now, I was supposed to come out with this book a year ago. And I'm glad I didn't, because more pieces came out within the time of the pandemic. After, when you react to certain things that you see in life. And I found that more people related to some of these pieces now. So I'm very excited to show a lot of things that people haven't seen before. For me, I feel like it's the first important work I've done. Something that I was lucky enough to be a catalyst for. That's way beyond my skill.
And for people who can't picture what, JR is talking about, if you ever were a fan of Mad Magazine, Sergio Aragonés used to do something very similar, but in really small size, in the margins of the book. And JR's taken it to the next level, which is really awesome.
I actually make mention of Sergio Aragonés because it was a year before someone said, "Oh, that's like that shadow thing that Sergio Aragonés does." I'm like, "The hell you?" Oh crap! And then it hit me. I'm like, because I loved. He called it "Only the Shadow Knows," and it was one of those moments I thought, I have to look through every one of my pieces. Did I rip something? I was afraid I ripped him off. I was afraid I was channeling something I thought was mine. And it's not a new art style. But what I liked about his is he made me laugh about the most ludicrous things about what people might be thinking. And that etched in my brain for some reason. And I hadn't thought about that for years. And I went through all my Sergio stuff. I don't have any of it. Yet it made such an impression. And when I found that art style to use two stories, tell one, it actually it fit my art style. It fit the cartoony art style. Even though I'm drawing these characters that are a little soft on the eyes, the stories themselves can be a little tough, and the messages that they are conveying in both the foreground and the background, they might be in conflict with one another. But I found that was interesting, and as an artist, I think I go with what interests me, and then we work from there. And I had no idea the reaction it was going to get till I went to
you've
the last
taken it to
Dragon
the
Con.
next level. It's pretty darn awesome.
Absolutely. I mean, we always knew that, certainly you didn't know how to hold back when it came to a pun. But what's amazing to me is that, with this powerful work, I mean, this stuff is honest. This stuff is brutally honest at times. It's intense. And yeah, you're right. It is funny, but it's really like it's an emotional roller coaster. I mean, I have literally seen you at shows, and people have seen this work and broken out in tears. It's very powerful stuff. It's because you don't hold back. You're completely honest about this work, and I mean that's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
And you can keep on going. It's limitless what you can possibly do.
The only reason why it's in one collection now is because I had to stop myself at some point. But what I find is that these are about real people. These are people that, like you saw it, Mike, when you were at Dragon Con, that was the first time I rolled them out. And I was just trying to show people the next phase of my art that I was kind of digging on, but I only had about 20, 25 pieces at the time. But to see somebody, I had come back from, I don't know, just going to the bathroom or something, and my buddy was watching my table. He says, "You need to talk to this person right here." And I turned around, I said, "Can I help you?" And that they just hugged me, and they just started crying and bawling. And I thought, maybe did I hurt your feelings or something? What did I do? And they had said that they had seen my pieces and it affected them. And I had asked, well, can I ask which one? Because I had to make sure, was it hurting anybody? Or was it one piece that was a little too strong? And they just said that, they'd seen so many of them that touched them, that they saw themselves in these stories. And I hadn't pictured that. I was just trying to draw stories about interesting scenarios about people, because I find people have such great stories to tell. And talking to this person kind of told me that I have a bit of a responsibility to this art, and that's why some of the pieces don't hold back. And I explained some of that in the book, that these pieces come out of me because I feel them, and as I feel them, they affect me too. When I draw these images, I'm the first one to be angry or to laugh or to start crying, just because some of these pieces are very emotional. And I told them because I just feel that some of these haven't been represented before. Or they're interesting artistically, and this happened to a friend of mine, or this is my story, or maybe someone could be helped with this. And that's what I'm very grateful about.
That is awesome, man. So tell us about the Kickstarter. We've got to wrap this up soon. So
Okay, all right. Well, the Kickstarter is going to be happening this Saturday, June 12th. It's going to run until August 10th, because I've got 3 conventions in that time. And basically, I'm shooting to print the minimum books from this really good printer in Alpharetta called BookLogix. They did an amazing job on a book I did for my wife just as a gift. And knowing what they could do with this book, it's worth the money for me to spend a little extra to make a better book. So I'm going to be kicking it off, and I'm just going to print whatever I can. If I can get to the minimum, then we're a go. I get 50 copies. If we print more, I'll print more. But because I don't really know what the reaction is going to be on this, I'm hoping I make the Kickstarter, and it's going to run for 57 days straight. And it'll be hardcover and softcover, and go from there.
Awesome, man. We will have a link up to it once it goes live and everything for our show notes, so
Thanks,
people
man.
could find it. We're going to promote the hell out of it for you, dude.
Well, thank you, man. Well, thank you. I need all the help I can get, as you can tell from this crap bag.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've known that for years, dude. But,
Yeah, of course.
JR, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate that, Mike.
Let's take a quick break, and we will close up the show.